Have you ever looked into a mirror and wondered if there's more to it than just your reflection? Could mirrors be gateways to other realms? Welcome back to Beyond the Hub podcast. I'm Nick.
And I'm Brandon. Today, we're going to be exploring the fascinating world of mirrors as portals. From ancient legends to modern stories, we're diving into those tales that suggest mirrors are more than they seem.
Join us as we reflect on our first episode of our three-part series on portals. Did you know that many cultures believe mirrors held mystical powers? For example, in ancient Chinese mythology, mirrors were thought to be portals to other worlds. And in Greek mythology, Perseus used a mirror to defeat Medusa. Now, Brandon, what do you think these stories reveal about our fascination with mirrors?
I think it's really cool how mirrors have been seen as magical objects all throughout history. They've been used in rituals believed to capture souls and even used as tools for divination. It shows a deep belief in their power beyond the hub of mere reflection.
Interesting. Absolutely. That's one of my favorite legends is the story of Bloody Mary, some of you may know, where chanting her name in front of a mirror supposedly summons her spirit. And this urban legend actually has its roots in older traditions where mirrors were considered doorways to the supernatural. Now, what do you think? Do you believe mirrors can act as portals to other realms, or is it all just folklore? Share your thoughts in the comments.
Me personally, I think that not all mirrors are portals or gateways, but I think they have the potential to be portals or gateways. I don't know what is used to activate it, but a little bit, I'm going to share an anecdote of an encounter that I've heard of. I didn't experience it myself, but it's just interesting that the mirrors themselves seem to have some sort of magical property to them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's the material they're made. I mean, it's glass.
It's sand.
It's sand. Like, you know, who hates sand? Anakin Skywalker. He hates sand. But, yeah, I just think it's really fascinating because it's led to a lot of superstitions.
Yeah.
Like, my wife, for example, doesn't like to have mirrors in the house at all, but you know, she understands the need to have a mirror for, like, you know, brushing her teeth and like fixing her hair, stuff like that. But it's funny because I have a mirror in my shower, and it's for me when I'm shaving my head because, you know, in case you guys couldn't tell, I'm bald.
Oh, what?
Yes. Shocking.
You didn't tell me?
Shocking. I know I didn't give you a warning, but it's true. Unfortunately.
We're gonna end the stream here.
Fortunately for me, I like being bald. I don't like the upkeep that I need to do every 2 to 3 days to shave my head because it still grows. It's just, you know, balding in spots. So anyway, I have a mirror in the shower, and after my wife uses the shower, I go into the shower later that day or the next day, and the mirror's tilted up because she doesn't like the mirrors looking at her in the shower because she truly believes that mirrors are portals. I don't know if she believes that all mirrors are portals, or if she believes that mirrors have the potential to be portals, but she's just freaked out by it, so she turns it up. And she also won't have mirrors facing each other.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a superstition.
That is a superstition.
Yeah.
And I think it's also interesting about the mirrors facing each other instance. What the infinite tunnel it creates kind of looks like the fourth dimension in Interstellar.
It does.
So just kind of a tie back between, you know, the time travel-y kind of thing and portals. Yeah. You know, are they related somehow? Of course, we're all speculating here. We're just discussing this, hoping that you guys can help us come to some conclusion. But I just think it's fascinating, at the very least. What about you?
I definitely have that. I'm gonna share a story later about some sort of incident I had with a mirror itself and when I was doing a paranormal investigation. So I'll save that my comments for that until then.
Okay.
But I mean, well, let's dive into some notable legends and stories involving mirrors as gateways. One famous story is the Mirror of Narcissus. Where he fell in love with his reflection and was trapped forever. I know some people who share that same problem. Another fascinating account is the legend of, not you, the legend of the haunted mirror at the Myrtles plantation, said to contain the spirits of a murdered family. Brandon, have you ever heard of any modern stories about mirrors as portals?
Yeah, actually, there's quite a few accounts. One that stands out to me is a story of a woman who claimed she saw another version of herself in the mirror.
What?
Like living a different life. This is like the idea of a parallel universe being accessible through mirrors. I think this idea comes up a lot as a recurring theme with the mirrors as portals topic that we're discussing.
That's actually a great point. Mirrors are often featured in horror stories and movies like The Poltergeist and Oculus, where they sort of act as a conduit to malevolent or like an evil twin dimension.
Shout out to Stranger Things with the upside down.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not necessarily using more mirrors, but it is a portal. So that's interesting. And isn't there something in Insidious about mirrors? The first Insidious? That's the only one I've seen.
I'm trying to think, because that's one of my favorite horror movies of all times.
I've only seen it once, and it was like over 10 years ago. So I don't really remember, but I could have sworn there's something about a mirror in the first one. And that has to do with like astral projection too, doesn't it?
It does. It has to do, and like the reason like he kind of just lost himself in that world, and that's why something was able to go inside him.
Yeah.
Amazing movie.
Interesting to think about. Have any of you guys ever had a strange experience with a mirror? Maybe you've seen something unusual, or even just heard a creepy story. We'd absolutely love to hear about it in the comments. And we'll see where we go from there. Hopefully some interesting information.
Have you ever had any creepy stories about it?
Well, I can share the one that I came across. So
yeah.
This was a interview from, I believe I was listening to the Confessionals podcast. It's another podcast that discusses paranormal stuff. Shout out to Tony Merkel. He was interviewing this guy who was sharing an experience he had where I believe he was a kid at the time, like young teenager, maybe like 13, 14. And he woke up in the middle of the night around 3-4 o'clock, somewhere around witching hour. And he had a mirror that was like on the side of his bed. There's space between his bed and the wall, and the mirror was on the wall. It was kind of like one of those dresser long mirrors. And he wakes up in the middle of the night and has this weird creepy feeling, and he looks over into the mirror, and in the mirror he sees crawling out from underneath his bed this ghoulish rake type creature. It's very human like, he describes it as, but it was like pale, fleshy, and it was dragging itself out by its hands, crawling out from under the bed. And he sees that in the mirror, and it's getting closer and closer to, towards in the mirror, he sees it crawling out from under his bed. So it's getting closer and closer to being able to interact with him. So he, terrified, he just gets up in his bed and jumps over towards his doorway so he can get out and escape. So he jumps over whatever was there, and he looks back, and it's not there. He saw it in the mirror, but he didn't see it in real life. That's just creepy to me.
What?
I think that's something leaning towards the potentiality of mirrors being a portal. Like, was he being shown a reflection of the world that we live in physical reality with something that is there but he can't see? Or is it a completely different realm of existence that is like a mirror copy of our realm of existence? Because in the mirror he also jumped in real life, so like the mirror was showing him what he was really doing as he was doing it.
it's hard to say what you would actually do in the moment, but I feel like right now, if like that was happening right now, I don't know how I'd react, but I'd probably like kick it or something, or like I like try to kick it wherever it is, like in the mirror, like through the mirror. Like if I could touch it, then might freak out a little bit. Like,
what if, man, this is a situation where curiosity could be detrimental, but I am, notorious in our show. That I really don't mess with things more than I have to when it comes to the experiences I have unwillingly, but I have them. There's very few. I won't go on ghost hunts with Nick. I won't go interact with these entities, but I have gone on like UFO hunts, alien hunts, that kind of thing. And that's about as far as I'll go. Maybe I'll, go look for, Dogman or Bigfoot or something like that. I might do that, but I won't go on ghost hunts. But this one, if I saw this, I don't know. Like you said, it's hard to tell how you'd really react in the situation. But in this one, I think my curiosity there's a good chance it gets the best of me, and I might just try to step on it, instead of jumping over because I'm so scared. But I don't know. Maybe I would be so scared. I'm a 30-year-old man. Maybe I'd be scared of that and just jump over it and just get out of the room. But knowing that I have a son, I would like to know that I can conquer the fear that would overcome me right now and be prepared to face anything that my son might experience, and in order to protect him. So that, leaning more that way, I would probably see this in the mirror if I were in a similar situation, step over the edge of the bed and just stomp on it and see what happens. Maybe I feel something, and it's invisible in our realm of reality, in the physical plane of existence that we all exist in. Maybe it's invisible, but it's really there, and the mirror is showing us something that we can't see without the mirror.
What if you don't feel it, but you see in the mirror that you're actually, like, it's actually affecting it?
That would be even crazier. Actually, I don't know. Both are equally crazy.
You're kicking the crap out of the thing, and it's just like, and you don't feel anything.
Or what if I put my foot down there, and it sees me putting my foot down there in the mirror and grabs it? And now I'm being pulled under the bed.
In the mirror, but not in real life.
And what if there's a portal under the bed?
You're getting pulled down, but you in real life are still there, but it's pulling your reflection underneath the bed.
That would be so creepy, because I'd start thinking that my soul was stolen. I don't know.
Whoa.
I don't know. This is an amazing discussion. I love these conversations. But I don't have any personal accounts of weird things with mirrors for me. That was one that I have heard that really piqued my interest about the potentiality of mirrors being portals. What about you, Nick?
My story's coming up in the next minute or two.
Okay.
I'll share mine.
All right.
Leave you in suspense a little bit longer.
Oh, man. I don't like to be in suspense. I do and I don't. The payoff is usually great.
Let's move on to more modern accounts, though. Let's talk about how people today view mirrors as portals. Some still believe that mirrors can trap negative energy or spirits. There are even practices in feng shui that involve covering mirrors to prevent this. Have you ever heard that term too? Like this house is very feng shui.
I think feng shui is I think it's Eastern. I think it's like Asian culture that does this. I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese or Korean, but I'm pretty sure it's Chinese. I think it's like the practice of setting up the arrangement of furniture and decorations within a room to create a certain vibe of pleasantness or welcoming or just a positive energy in the room. I think it has to do with that.
Yeah.
And I think that they cover the mirrors because it could be inviting the negative energy, like you stated. I've never heard of feng shui or seen feng shui used in a serious sense where people are like, oh yeah, this room is really feng shui. I really set it up in this way intentionally. Like, I've never heard that, but I've heard it in like pop culture references and like TV shows. Like, you messed with the feng shui of my room. Why'd you do this?
I guess that makes sense, though.
It does.
They're doing it for a specific purpose.
Yeah. It's interesting how these ancient ideas are still being used even today. And even in some paranormal investigations, mirrors are sometimes used to communicate with spirits, kind of like Ouija boards. People have reported seeing figures or strange lights in mirrors that aren't visible otherwise.
Okay, now here's the story. This reminds me of the time that I when I investigated the Stanley Theater in Utica, New York. You can look back on one of our old videos and you'll see it. So we were in the basement of like the females' restroom, but they have like a lounge area down there. And I asked whatever we were communicating with to show itself. And on command, a light appeared out of nowhere. So this light, we followed the light with the camera, and it went inside the mirror. Okay. So it went in the mirror, and so imagine like a mirror on like a frame. So it went inside the mirror and then disappeared inside of the mirror. Like you can physically see it go into the room and go over that hump inside of it.
I remember seeing this video. You showed it to me early on when we just met.
Yeah.
I remember you were freaking out about this. I'm like, dude, portals. Because I mean, it's been a long time. It's been a long time that we've been talking about this stuff, and we finally decided to start this podcast and discuss it with all of you guys. That was mind blowing to me because I couldn't explain it away with any other, science or physics that I'm aware of. Maybe there's something I'm not aware of, but I couldn't explain it. Like the only explanation is that it went into the mirror as a portal because it ceased to exist right in front of your eyes. I wasn't there. Ceased to exist right in front of your eyes, but it continued to exist behind the rigid surface of the mirror.
Yeah, because it wasn't in the room still. It was in the mirror.
Yeah. And that was crazy.
And we got it on camera.
Where did it go? That's kind of similar to the creepy rake ghoul thing coming out from under the bed. It existed in the mirror, but not in real life. So you just saw something that exists in real life go into the mirror and then dip off behind the mirror as if the mirror was a window and not really a mirror, and that it was showing you like a room on the other side, but it was a mirror.
Do you think having the mirrors in my house, it can find its way back to me?
Ooh, that's a really good theory. If the mirror realm is a realm connected, that is like opposite of ours, but connected by all mirrors, then yeah, absolutely. If that's not the case, I find that hard to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could be stuck in just that mirror. Like what if each mirror that is acting as a portal is only capable of being a portal to that mirror realm, showing everything that you can see within that mirror, and that's it? I think that's less likely than what you suggested, but
still possible.
I think it's still possible, because then there'd just be like hard stops of where like, you can't go past this. And it's also weird how if you look at a mirror from different angles, you can see different things. So what's to say that it doesn't go on? That's why I think part of why it leans more towards what you said. Maybe it could find its way back to you. I mean, you didn't sense a malevolent energy from that, right?
Not from that instance, no.
So it's not like, you wouldn't be welcoming it, but me, I'm playing cautious and don't welcome any of that spirit stuff.
Yeah, I don't want anything in here. I got enough in this place.
Yeah, we don't need any more of that.
Everything is all nice, so hopefully nothing falls this stream.
That was crazy.
That was during our live. That was during our live stream last week.
That was live.
But what do you think? Could there be scientific explanations for these phenomena, or is there really something supernatural going on? Share your theories in the comments.
Maybe the scientific explanation is that it's supernatural. Just, maybe think about that.
It's paranormal.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
But that is a wrap on this deep dive into mirrors and their potential as portals. It always feels like we have just scratched the surface of yet another mystery.
Absolutely. But that's what's so exciting. Just scratching the surface, and maybe we can get a little bit deeper each time that we scratch that surface. But guess what? Tomorrow, we're going to be uncovering the secrets of invisible portals. Hidden gateways that might be all around us, just waiting to be discovered.
It's going to be yet another wild ride. So make sure you join us, because your theories and comments fuel our discussions. So if you could, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and click that little bell and share your thoughts below.
and the exploration continues. We cannot wait to have you back for even more revelations. And make sure you don't miss out. Episode 2 airs tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be epic. And if you're new here, check out our previous series where we attempt to unravel other mysteries. Shout out to last week's topics, aliens, UFOs, and the kind, and the like. Definitely check it out. Those are some of my favorite episodes we've ever done. Link in the description, as always, and stay curious. Make sure you keep seeking the truth.
Until next time, this is Beyond the Hub podcast, where the realms of the paranormal and conspiracies collide, and the truth is waiting to be unveiled. We'll see you soon.
Take care, everybody.